tells me it's live, so I would say 3, 2, 1, go. Go. That's your cue. Stay.
Hey, DM.
Yes? Did he say? Cause I don't know if he just suddenly got very quiet or what, but I couldn't hear him. Did he? Are we actually going now?
For the last 45 seconds, yes.
Okay, well. Hi.
I said go like 6 times.
You were super quiet, and I don't know why. I turned you up, and so I can hear you again, but I could not hear you. So, welcome back to another episode of Stories from Unbound Shores. Where I last left off, the group had managed to make it through a night's rest and make plans as to where they are heading next, and have decided to go towards the Mage's Tower on the continent on their way to the Forgotten Fortress so as to try and get Chris more or less delivered to one of the Raven Queen encampments, which there should be some nearby the tower, but they don't know exactly where, so they are starting with the tower to try and find out where it is they need to go exactly.
And we'll use that as an extremely subtle way of seeing where their alliances lie.
Very subtle. I'm probably gonna use Detect Magic on someone.
Detect thoughts?
Not a good idea on a wizard tower? Yeah, that one.
And we are currently short a player, but as we have no idea what happened, we have decided to play in his absence.
He'll reappear at some point.
Alright, that said, you may now do as you wish.
So are we still maneuvering to the tower? Is it in sight? Are we there? Like, what's the situation?
If you desire to be there, you certainly can be. If you're wanting to, scope it out from a distance or something, we can back it up a little bit.
I imagine, guys, that it's just going to be a wizard's tower, and that it'll be just as enigmatic at a distance as it will be up close, so my vote is to just go knock on the door.
Unless we
I've
can
been
see...
here before, right?
You have.
So I may very well know people. We can just go right up.
Yes, but I had forgotten that, so I did not go over that between sessions, so we're gonna wing it and just see how this goes. That's why you've lost a lot of time as it is.
I did not think about that either.
Unless we can see the camp of the Raven Queen forces somewhere
you would not
nearby,
have.
then-
You would not have passed one by the time the tower was in sight. You wouldn't have
Okay.
seen one.
As we approach the tower, one still does not enter visual range.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, my vote remains
the
knock on
tower,
door.
yeah. I see no reason not to do that.
Would I know whether using Detect Thoughts in the Wizard's Tower would be a bad idea, or Mage's Tower?
Generally casting spells without permission in a, non-combat scenario is going to be frowned upon and stopped if they have the capacity to do so.
At the very least, without warning.
I was just gonna say I'll cast it out here on one of these guys and then switch it to someone in there, but it only lasts a minute. I don't know how far we'd really get. I'm just gonna save the spell slot and hope that we can suss out what they're thinking.
I'm down with that. Let's go do some sussing.
Sussing is a weird word. Okay, carry on. Alright.
Used it first.
Go up to the door and do whatever protocol says. Just knock. Open it.
Knock, knock,
What do
knock.
we do?
You'll shave and a haircut.
All right, you knock, and you'll see. And the others will move up as well. You'll hear. Just a minute. Well, as someone comes to open the door.
Skull would like to open a thing. Oh, it opened. Trying to wait and not just barge right in.
Huh. She kind of looks between the five of you. And then points to Melisari, seeing that she doesn't seem to be like under stress or anything. You might need to explain this a little bit. What brings you here, and what brings you here with them?
I assume by them you're referring primarily to the person next to me.
Yes, and the two people behind you as well.
Oh yes, I forgot that we were rolling as well.
Flat
Well,
frown.
we're looking for an encampment of the Raven Queen. We were told it was nearby the tower for our see if we can help out one of our friends back here. As for the two drow, they have been very helpful to us. In fact, one next to me, Eskel, is a paladin of Bahamut from the Isle of Heaven. And she's giving this person this look of keep questioning me. I dare you.
She's just kind of nodding along.
Eskel's just got his arms folded over his chest and has a look of extreme skepticism upon this person.
Well, you don't see that every day. And what of the other?
Roland helped save us from a Hydra quite recently.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if they don't cause trouble, they're welcome here. Although,
Sure.
The others may wish for there to be a, well, excuse the poor phrase, but, a short leash. Or, on
I
thin
choose
ice
not
would
to
probably be better.
excuse that phrase.
Perhaps being on thin ice would be more apt.
We don't intend to separate and wander.
No.
As I said, we are here to see if you know the location of an encampment of the Raven Queen nearby, and that is almost all that we have to discuss.
Oh no, there's another large matter.
Oh? She says, and she turns towards you.
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
how...
Sorry, kind of squinting toward you.
I don't know how often you get outside the walls of this building and they look thick and protective, but it's kind of, chaos out here. And so we thought perhaps, or at least I thought, he says, glancing over the rest of the party, that perhaps you would have some magical knowledge or items for exchange, trade, purchase, the like, that might help us in our other duties.
There may be something we can arrange. Although, what you ask does not come cheap.
I should expect not. You're the only tower around. You've got a... Well, you've cornered the market, haven't you?
Well, or at least the main supplier, if not the only. As far as the Raven Queen's encampments, there are some near here. I believe there's one couple hours to the south, southeast, I think. She says, kind of going through it, like kind of trying to recall it.
A couple hours to the southeast.
But if you're looking for, if you're, as you have some more interest in trade, then do come in and have a seat while I gather the others. She'll say that, and the other two will all be looking, so she just kind of heads for the stairs.
I like that you had to, like, throw yourself into the chair.
I don't know how I managed to get in the chair that well. That kind of makes me happy. I'm very properly in this chair. Dirk apparently doesn't fit as well.
If you walk there, Sam, it should do it. Try going from the back of the chair.
I like to feel tall,
I think it's probably just the positioning of the table makes it so that the chair is out a little bit more, and
I heard physicianing.
positioning. There are people in here.
All right.
That's
So,
like
I guess I'll
dryad
just
person?
drag over.
No wait. Yeah, is that like a dryad-y person? Look at those ears. No wait.
I will get through descriptions in a moment once I get tokens kind of in place.
Yeah, okay. Is that a fucking android? Do androids dream of electric sheep? Are we going to find out today?
We're going... I just remember the one from the book. Foreshortening of the title of the price
The
tag.
sticker? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do androids dream of dick?
Do they? Now I gotta get
Or
this
was
book
it
and find out.
electric?
It was just dick.
So she'll come over and have a seat while the tiefling had gone upstairs and say, "Hello, my name is Catherine." And as you get a look at this woman as she kind of comes over into, closer into the candlelight, she appears to be, humanoid with some animalistic elements.
Is she a shifter?
Maybe.
I like shifters.
Which animal elements?
I'm trying to remember if my animal correctly here. It's like a leopard, cheetah, the one with spots.
I mean, both of them have spots.
Well, then one
Does
of
it-
those.
Which one? Does it have the face stripes?
No, mostly just spots kind of up and down the arms, and well, that'd be about all you could see. And a bit of kind of fur and
I don't know, she looks kind of
places.
to me.
Yeah, well, that's
I feel
the
like we should be able to
close.
see more.
That's the closest thing I had.
Does any of us have reason to recognize her origin?
Nope, this
Okay.
is weird. Never seen anything like it.
All right.
And this thing goes for you too, Malzari. This is one that would have come after your last visit.
She said Catherine?
Yep.
Greetings, Catherine. I am Escaltrinier, Paladin of Bahamut. We're here seeking, if you are willing to trade it, information about the creatures that lurk on this continent, and ways, if not tools, which we are capable of paying for, to help us fight them.
Well,
I'm rolling insight.
oh,
Cause why
Eskel
not?
is being honest.
Not on Eskel.
I did think you were rolling it against Eskel. I'm like, okay, interesting choice.
yeah. So, I was kind of in that same mind frame too, because she
Oh my
hadn't
God.
said anything yet.
I'm rolling insight to watch for her reactions. Jeez.
Okay.
What's she
Oh.
saying? Anyway, 17.
Okay.
Our
I'll
hips
grab my
don't
dice here.
lie.
Because we're talking about, like, destroying... Well, I mean, not just undead, I guess. There's a lot of not undead things, too.
I phrased things very carefully.
Well, we do have some information on the creatures of these lands. And we may have tools, depending on what it is you're looking for. As I'm sure Lilith told you, the second half certainly doesn't come cheap, and depending on the information, it might not be cheap either. And with that, Lilith will be coming back around about that time.
How are we doing on holy oil and holy water, such things?
I use my only holy oil.
I believe that we're out.
Well, that might be worthwhile. Well...
Is that the oil? Is that a product that is produced here, or solely?
I mean, I think it was
Mount
primarily
Mistal.
at Mount Mistal, but if they have holy water, that is still potentially useful. And I wouldn't think that would be specific to Mount Mistal. Would I think that would be
create
specific
holy
to Mount Mistal? Would I think that there's a reason to think that there's holy water here?
I mean, they might have some, but they're not likely to have a lot, as holy water is, well, a product of divine magic, something that they would be lacking here.
We're close
As they
enough
are.
to the Raven Queen's encampment. They could trade for it if they think that they need it.
Yes, which
They
is
can
why
trade
they'd
for
like
it
to
at
have.
the Raven Queen's encampment too. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So, they'd have some. They wouldn't necessarily have like a lot, though.
Ooh, hang on. Was there anything that I needed for any spells? I should have done this before I chose my spells.
So, I suppose I should have you be aware of who you would know and who you wouldn't. So you would know 3 out of the 4, and that would be the Tiefling Lilith, the half-orc known as Tark, and the excuse me, and the construct known as Bastion.
Aww.
And I hadn't considered the Overwatch connection until just this second, so I might need to change that name.
This is kind of funny though, because like Lilith is a demon, Bastion's a construct,
Hmm.
and then there's just Tark.
And then there's Catherine, which is a little on the nose.
Just Tark.
I mean, Tark is cool. I'm not saying he's not cool. He's
So-
just not a reference.
I'm gonna be friends with Tarek.
Tark.
T-A-R-A-K.
He's not a gem wielding.
He's holding a gem!
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I think he's Tarek!
My cat's blocking the screen. Hang on.
So you'll see him come downstairs and say, well, sorry. Welcome back to the tower.
Hello, Tark. Good to see you. Oh, who was giving me shit? Lilith? Giving me
She
shit
wasn't
about the
really
crowd.
giving you crap. She was just kind of questioning, like curious as to why.
What in the fuck?
as to why you had brought Drow to her doorstep.
We're taking over the tower, clearly. Alright, anyway, no
I
joking. Here we go.
Alright, and so... So, I am under the understanding you're here for both information and possibly some wares. Is there some... what in particular do you need?
I'm kind of looking at Eskel. I'm also looking through my spell sheet.
Well,
Things I could use.
this is my first time visiting this Mage's Tower, or actually any Mage's Tower, so I'm a little bit curious as to the type of things you do here and what types of resources that might lead you to be in possession of, that we might persuade you to exchange with us. The answer to your question in simple terms is, I'm not entirely certain, but if you have things that would be good for destroying undead, then I would like to see those.
Insight!
Alright.
He's being honest.
Shitty insight!
Add your
I'm
insight
being
from-
honest.
Your
I'm not-
insight
Oh my
from
god.
your insight from before, however, with Catherine, she did seem to be being truthful with you.
Okay. I rolled a 5 on Mark.
Eskel's still being honest.
So, well, if you want to know what it is we do here, most, if not all, Mage's Towers are primarily focused on research, usually in a particular school of magic. Here, we focus on, well, what's generally called white necromancy. We try to avoid animating things if at all possible, but there are some other uses for the school, such as Speak with Dead, which is useful, but unharmful to anyone involved.
I'm familiar with it.
And so we are, as that side of necromancy is largely underdeveloped compared to its other half, we focus most of our efforts on that here, trying to find other uses for the art.
And this preponderance of undead, zombies, and the like around Elysium, especially in the last 5 years, has affected your ability to research either positively or negatively?
Well, a bit of both. We have been able to try certain things on the undead that seem to be plaguing the land, as we've been trying to make something akin to banishment, but, well, for undead. We've made little progress, but we've had ample targets. But it does make our resources stretched a bit thin, as we need to make sure we have our own defenses up, and there are others, such as yourselves, coming in and asking for our assistance, be it as ourselves, information, equipment, and, well, other things of the like.
And so you are trying to find a way of removing the undead threat from Elysium. That is your goal?
Generally, yes. Or at the very least work on the spells while we have this opportunity, bleak as it may be.
I will be honest with you, I had been given reason to believe that that might not be the case. Is there some assurance you can give me?
Well, The only assurance I can really think to give you is that well, I hope you haven't encountered any undead within, a few miles of this place, as we have tried to keep the general area around the tower, fortified.
And I will ask the DM, is that the case?
You might. Well, no, because if you had seen one or two, we would try to have stopped and done things. So, no.
Oh, yes. He
So,
seems to
yeah,
be telling the truth.
He does seem to tell the truth, yes.
And I won't find those undead that are not wandering around the grounds of the tower, somewhere within being tested or made more powerful.
No, you will not. We do have some bones and things in the basement, as we do have to test on animals on occasion, because sometimes a spell that is intended to be white necromancy can still bring back a portion of the person, which is what we're trying to avoid, so we test on animals when we can. So there will be objects of death if in some of the lower levels, but nothing currently running around.
I'm going to be exchanging glances with Dirk and Melisari while this discussion is going on, as I'm certain that they are as skeptical of our hosts as I am. But my insight check just now was only a 6.
Yeah, my insight when he first started talking was only a 5, so...
My insight, once it decides to actually roll, come on, D&D Beyond, I believe in you that the die will stop at some point in the future.
Wait,
Still going.
Mine never rolled this long, what?
I think it landed on... Okay, it wasn't 11. So that's a 16 for me. God, that took so
better.
fucking long.
Oh, you know what? I know why.
I'm not gonna complain.
You turned off your graphics accelerator inside of Chrome so that you can stream, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be why.
I'll roll in Tailspire next.
Okay.
Well, Melisari and Eskel.
Can't get a read on him?
Yeah, you got nothing. Dirk, however, you get the sense that while what he's said is probably true, you feel like there's maybe a little more something to it. Maybe perhaps something left out.
So, I mean, after his stuff there, Dirk will say, "I'm glad to hear that," and then I'm trying to think if there would be some kind of signal that's not like an obvious signal that Dirk and Eskel would have.
We must have some. Especially considering the type of work we've been up to.
Because basically I want to signal like a no.
Gotcha.
To Eskel.
I imagine that you could do that with, like, a long blink or something as we make eye contact.
Yeah.
A pre-established code
Like,
that we have.
A weird sideways glance. I don't know.
Alright, yeah. Oh, I won't have to get a check or something, so...
I mean, Dirk also is the one with the map, so if he chooses not to bring out the map...
Yeah, that is the other... Dirk very clearly, like, made no... Like, arms folded when he said that, and then like, looked over at Eskel, and then, you know, like, that was it. Like, he dropped it at that.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone does know that Dirk was
The one with
eager
the map.
to give the map to the people who should have it.
At that, after seeing your signal, Eskel's going to, lower his chin a moment and then look up more brightly and say, well, that's good to hear. I would love to put to rest the, terrible things that I had heard from a person whom I have not been able to corroborate anyway. I do wonder if you'd be willing to show me some of the work you've been doing, as I do intend to, if you've got something I can use, try to barter with you for it.
What is it that you... Is there something specific you're looking for?
As I've said, I do not know, but if you have items that are specifically useful in dealing with undead, I would like to see them. I would also like to know more about this operation, as the Isle of Heaven has very little information on the goings-on of this particular tower. We had in fact thought it lost in the war between the Raven Queen and Nerul.
Well, we're still alive and kicking.
I can see that.
But frankly, we've mostly kept to ourselves. I mean, give support here and there, but...
Would it not interest you to free the Isle of Heaven from its undead bonds and make it a place that people can actually thrive again?
Did you mean Elysium?
What have I been saying?
You said the Isle of Heaven that time.
Excuse me, I meant Elysium.
I think I'm squinting at you a little bit.
I have said nothing that is untrue.
I mean, I'm not squinting at you in terms of trying to figure out if you're being truthful.
Make an insight check.
This is not an insight check. This
So,
is like a very, very mild warning. Like, you might be pushing a little too hard, my friend.
Just smiles at you.
well, it would be nice, and is part of the reason we help when we can. There are not many of us here.
There aren't, but there are us now. And we intend to do something about this. So perhaps, if you are not willing to risk your numbers, which is completely reasonable, but you have something that you believe could be useful, we can use it in your stead. That is to say, if you have something. Perhaps this is not the case. I'm just trying to say that it sounds to me like we all want the same thing, so why do we not help each other out? Why don't we get to know each other?
Well, we do have a few things. Some a bit more mundane than you might expect, but still effective and much more easy to produce.
By all means, please explain it to me.
You'll see him turn. Say, Bastion, could you bring me a few of those vials from the shelf over there? And you'll see this thing just kind of quietly, grab a few vials and turn and hand them to him. Alright. Now, first we have these. He'll pressure of this. It's not particularly magical, but when you're dealing with the creatures around here, it can be useful in a pinch. It is a blade oil is not particularly accurate, but it helps give you an idea of what to expect. It's something you can coat your weapon in, that is flammable, so that you can burn targets as necessary. I believe there was mention of a Hydra earlier.
Esco looks to
Melisar just
Melisar.
kind of nods.
Well, this would be rather useful in fighting those. Those beasts don't particularly care for fire.
So you place the soil, the substance, on the blade, ignite it by some means, and then it remains ignited for some period of time and can pass that flame on to whatever you strike.
Yes, it will. It burns hot enough that we'll be able to deal. We'll be able to burn things that you are able to strike with an attack. However, I wouldn't go applying it to arrows or quarterstaff, as the weapon will not survive the process.
So I should take this as it will not burn hot enough to damage a steel blade.
It has never done so over when uses are spread out, but I expect it's possible if used repeatedly back to back without rest.
Very good to know. And were you to provide this to people who wish to do the work of cleansing the undead from Elysium, what would you ask in exchange?
Well, some gold would be useful, but something that would be more useful is if you just happen to have the. But we also do a bit of quid pro quo, as we are lacking in manpower, sometimes gathering ingredients, especially for the more mundane objects such as this, can be, well, dangerous for sure, deadly in some cases. And now, despite my lack of voice acting here, he has a very gruff and rather deep voice that he would be speaking this in.
Mm-hmm. And these ingredients, are they the kind of thing that we might have on us now, or are they rare and unknown or unuseful in other cases enough that we would be expected to go find them?
Well, they're not particularly rare, but, well, in most other cases, they're quite useless.
But we aren't likely to have them.
No.
Very interesting. Alright. That seems reasonable. What else have you got?
We do
Also-
have some enchanting services. We have a couple items, and, well, given the current conflict, we do tend to, and our specialization, we do tend to lean towards the items that you might be looking for. But given time and a great deal of coin, as this is not a quick or cheap process, it can create things more to your liking.
Are you offering to place magic upon weapons or armors?
Yes, we can do that, or rings, or offer alchemical services as well.
Alchemical?
Those are cheaper and, well, faster to produce.
Alchemical, like the potions, you mean?
Yes.
I understand.
And, well, a bit of the process is used in making things like this. He says, gesturing towards the... Yeah.
Bastion.
Well, towards the like, flame blade oil.
Ah, yes. Fascinating, and good to know. I don't know how much coin we have to throw around, but I would certainly like to hear the prices on some of those later when I have more specific questions about what you can create. If I can divert for a moment, I find myself unable to look away from this creature you've called over here. Bastion, you called it?
Yes.
I am unfamiliar with its like. I'm going to, like, gesture at it and say, what can you tell me about yourself, Bastion?
Bastion just stays quiet, but Tark will answer. Uh, he's a construct we keep around. It helps with the labors that don't require as much intelligence, but longer periods of time.
I have, like, turned my head toward Melisari and am mouthing the word construct at her.
Hang on. What did Tark just say?
He said that Bastion is a construct that I keep around for doing simpler tasks, but ones that take a great deal of time.
Okay, and I would assume that I know about Bastion from previous. He said that I recognize Bastion.
Yes.
And that seems accurate to me. It's a construct in the like of the like the Gnomish village has that we don't hate. I'm guessing that's what Eskel's trying to get at here.
That would be your summation. It doesn't seem to, like, you've seen it do things without necessarily being commanded, which is a bit odd, but it's never like try to speak or interact with you or anything like that, and doesn't, but there's not really a way to know if it's like a golem or something. But most golems are much larger than this thing.
So I guess I'll kind of shrug at Eskel. Like, to the best of my knowledge, that's fair. That's accurate.
Say, I have seen large golems constructs being used for defense against the monsters outside of a town, but I've never seen one quite so finely crafted. Quite so... I don't know. I don't have the words. Delicate.
Well, I'd tell you more about it if I could, but Bastion was a creation of the previous master of this tower. His creation and full workings are a bit of a mystery to some of us here.
That seems odd statement, Eskel says, rising and moving around the table. I've only met a few wizards, but they always seemed very passionate about understanding the mysteries around them. He's gonna move up to Bastion and just kind of begin, like, tapping, if he can, on the plates of armor with a finger.
You'll see him just kind of turn his head and look at you.
Well,
we have tried, and we've learned, well, a bit about him. But, well, the previous master of the tower did not exactly leave much in the way of a instruction manual, and we're not really sure how this was created. If it's more an object or something that was more conjured,
if it was conjured, wouldn't it have, like, disappeared after a set amount of time?
It's, well, usually yes, but it's possible for things to stay longer.
That was kind of out of character to confirm myself, but yeah, okay, I'll ask it in character if that's something that would make sense to me.
Seems like a reasonable question to me.
I did have another question or two, though. Based on... Shit, what was the other question?
The only thing The only other thing I could tell you about it is that, from our understanding, it seems to, well, run on the more ambient magics of the world, and every once in a while needs to remain active for a time so as to uh, be able to gather those into itself again.
Okay. I had a second question too, but I can't think of it right now, so we'll come back to it if I think of it. Having been pretty heavily involved in looking through Alliston?
That sounds
The
right. I
the
remember.
bad the bad golem creator. Having looked through his
That sounds
notes
right.
fairly extensively back then, would I have any way of being able to figure out if this could be a golem?
Well, you you expect not, like, at least it's not powered, like, most because of how it's powered, because, like, while you also spent some time here, you have seen it, like, rest, more or less, kind of, like, be inactive for a while, whereas if it was a golem, it would not need to do that, because it's powered by this, the soul of an elemental, and those things don't exactly, sleep.
Okay.
So it's unlikely it's made or powered the same way.
The potion bubbling is a nice little ambiance thing. The fire crackling is occasionally distracting though. Okay, anyway, continuing.
You're definitely not stealing the floor. Go for it. Ask any question that comes to mind, please. Eskel is like full on messing with this construct at this point. Just like not trying to break it or anything, but honestly just trying to like figure it out with topical examination.
As you continue to poke it will eventually start like pulling away a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Eskel, I think if the mages here haven't determined its workings in the years they've been here, I'm not sure that we're going to unravel its secrets in a day. Kind of like trying to gently hint, you can leave this alone. I promise it'll be okay if you leave it alone.
Once it seems to be less of the topic of conversation. It seems to it starts heading back towards the bench where it was working.
What is he working on currently?
He seems to be working with like a he's working kind of like grinding ingredients with like a more pestle thing, if I'm saying that correctly.
Mortar and pestle.
Yep.
Sorry, my examination interrupted a question you seem to be about to ask, Kate.
I don't remember. I mean, I know there was one other question I was going to ask regarding the construct, but I can't remember what it was anymore, and it was probably just along the same line. Oh my god. Probably just along the same lines of trying to confirm that it is just a construct and not something we should be concerned about from a saving the souls perspective. What was the topic of conversation before the construct got brought in? We
Fighting
were just kind of
undead.
Fighting
Yeah, no,
undead
I
and
know,
seeing
but
what stuff.
the tools and stuff, right? Talking about potentially bartering for things.
If you so, well, let's see. What's your preferred weapon there? Well, actually, it's probably Lilith would actually be asking at this point. To you, Eskel.
I actually, you'd see him kind of like rock his head back and his eyes widen a little as the question is asked to him. Is, I use a rapier. I
All right.
prefer dexterous weapons.
And what are the other two on that side of the table? It's a little difficult to see what you have in your hip from over here.
Addressing Chris.
Chris
Cr-
and Roland,
Just,
probably.
just say a longsword, and Roland just speak and say, I use a bow and arrow most often. Naturally, I'd also ask what he uses. She says, kind of tilting her head towards Dirk, but his is a bit easier to identify.
Dirk will just like nod.
Well, I think we might have a quiver useful for your friend in the back there. Let me think. I don't know if we have anything dexterous on hand at the moment. But I think we do have something rather fitting for the. Has Dirk given his name at any point?
Um,
I think the
I
only
don't-
ones who've been
I don't
introduced
think
are Eskel
so.
and Roland. Because they were questioning about the drow.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
it's our dwarven friend here. So, let me go retrieve what it is we have. Alright, and she'll...
Insight! For shits and giggles.
Okay, roll it.
Kristen's coming
12.
back.
Alright. She seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna have her disappear for a minute while I go and while she goes up the stairs to retrieve things.
I already forgot. Oh, Catherine. So, Catherine, I've, not seen the like of you in my years. Where do you hail from?
Oh, I'm from here, actually.
Oh.
A half-breed, not unlike Tark here.
Care to elaborate?
Well, they seem to trust you. Sure, why not? I am what's known as a shifter. This is generally what happens when, someone goes and has a relationship with a werewolf or any other lycanthrope who has been able to keep their curse under control.
Interesting. I've not heard of such things.
Yes, well, it's where the fur and things come from.
Yeah, makes sense indeed.
So it's slightly in my blood as well, but it's by no means anywhere near as potent as to be considered a lycanthrope. But I can grow claws and force myself to move a little faster when needed.
Very curious.
Although
You think?
I do generally try to avoid it as well. There is also a bit of rage or a slight loss in control that comes with the process.
Hmm.
Alright. Back to grabbing weapons real quick. It's no good. Like quiver thing. So let me see if there's something I can substitute.
Sorry about that.
Hey, food.
No worries. Well, while I'm here, I can grab
We
something
were just making conversation.
like that.
I hope that you carried on the conversation without me a moment.
Yeah, there was a bit.
I mean,
and
the only conversation we had was just, so shifter, where are you from? Oh, I'm a shifter. I'm from here.
Okay,
This is what a shifter is.
cool. So we know what a shifter is now.
We now know what a shifter is.
Cool.
And it
Alright,
sounds
so that's
like
the closest
they,
thing to a quiver I'm gonna get is a stick. So
Wait, what are they actually named called here? They're like
Baxi?
but there are actual shifters too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there is a shifter.
Yes.
It's something.
Yeah.
I'm just
Shifter's
trying
still
to
a
remember
race in
what
5th
the dog
edition.
variety is.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like she's a dog variety.
Oh, those are the long
long
tooth
Are they
shifters.
long tooth in this?
Yeah, it was Razor Claw and Long Tooth.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember if they had a different name in 5e.
In 5e, there's also the Swift Stride and the
Wild Hunt.
Hunt. Okay.
Alright, so I've put some items on the table to at least be representative. So Lilith comes back with a what is well, actually, do I have something that would be more? Let me check. Yeah, no. Okay. Comes back with what appears to be a warhammer, a quiver, and then there's again a quiver, and then there's also the whatchamacallit, the vials on the table of the flame oil or what have you.
Oh, is that one thing the quiver substitute?
Yeah,
Ah,
and also apparently I can't put shields,
okay.
so
We have an animated shield. We should get that one.
Yeah, definitely. Have a shield bonus and use a two-handed weapon. Nice.
I'm all for it.
Oh my goodness.
you know, if I do that, and then
Knock it down!
And then knock it prone.
Yes!
there we go.
It's okay. The animated shield is just sleeping.
Alright, and I grabbed one more thing. It does meet the type of thing you're looking for, but I feel it may do you more harm than good.
Eyebrows fly skyward.
I raise one.
Well, let's start with the more basic things, and we'll get to that at the end. Alright, let me pull off the magic item entry, make sure I'm not going off my rocker here. Ba, 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 ba. This is a, she says, gesturing towards the warhammer is a special warhammer of disruption.
I actually know how that works.
Right?
In character?
No.
Nope.
Well,
But I was given a Mace of Disruption in another game.
you know, when you strike an undead with a fiend or undead with this weapon, it will take extra radiant damage, and, well, if it's close to death, cannot maintain its will, it will, well, be destroyed. Wholly and completely. It can also be used to... it will also shed light while it is held.
I'm sorry. Did you just indicate that Warhammer would kill a fiend that's on this plane of existence?
Would it work on a Death Knight?
You know, I hadn't thought about that when I was going through this item.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe that is meant to be its purpose. However, it is a rather difficult thing to test, as you'd have to know what fiend it was that you've just slain with it, and then go and, well, see if it no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
So, perhaps, although it's difficult to know for sure.
Was this item also designed by the previous master?
No. No, this one is my own work.
If I were to cast... Wait, it's his own work and he's not sure if it would work on a... Whatchamacallit?
Well,
Couldn't test it.
Well, what can I say? I'm not particularly, well, I haven't exactly signed up to go trotting through hell to go make sure whatever demon or devil that I came across and somehow managed to actually be able to use this thing, to see if it's actually dead or not. With a bit of tweaking, I think I could add a bit more handle and weight to this. Have it behave more like your maul there.
And even without being a maul, it is an extremely powerful thing.
So, but as far as how its destruction works, the best I can tell you offhand is that it completely destroys the body. So, something like a vampire that requires a body to live would, but has difficult to kill other ways, would die. A demon may just be sent back. A lich
I'm really curious about
might die, but would likely return to its phylactery after a few days.
I looked at Melisari.
Knight's work.
Itch.
Wait, why are you questioning me about liches?
Because I don't know them.
Oh, do I know them?
Well, you've spent some time here, and you're a sage, so you certainly could, but it's not a guarantee.
Okay. Should I make a...
So if you want to roll Arcana, or Religion, but Arcana...
I mean, either way, it's the same number.
Okay, well, take your pick.
21. I guess religion. Makes sense for undead.
All right. Well, you know that they are traditionally undead mages in service of either Orcus or Vecna that have traded their humanity and their loyalty and service to whichever master it is that they chose for eternal undeath.
So I will inform them of that. I guess I can say it in character if you want.
No, I feel that's fine.
Okay.
But does that with Eskel being told that, does he have any questions? Like
Undead wizard?
Oh, I guess it's worth mentioning. A lich typically has an item in which they place their soul. Is that how it works? Do I know that?
Yes. Well, you know there's an object they're bound to, and it's what allows them to come back.
Okay, yes. They typically have an item that they are bound to that is what lets them have this eternal undeath. Generally speaking, they're destroyed by destroying said item. And that's called a phylactery.
Esco's just sort of like shaking it, going, why are there so many undead that just don't stay dead?
It's kind of their thing, and was in large part Neryl's objective. He wanted things to still be useful past their death. So, if they could not be destroyed, then they would continue to operate amongst their purpose.
Interesting. Can I insight him again?
That would have actually been Catherine that spoke up there. Sorry, I need to specify who's talking because I don't do the voice acting bits. But yes, you may insight.
Wait, am I re-rolling?
You don't have to if you have a roll.
Okay. Earlier on her, it was, I think, 16? 17? 16, I think.
Yeah.
I'm curious because that's pretty much how Chris had phrased it earlier, and knowing that Chris was previously a follower of Nerul.
This common phrasing might indicate a connection.
Indeed. Which might indicate that she is pro Nerul.
Could be. Could be.
Well, so then what is it you're trying to get out of this insight? Because it's generally just tell if don't know if they're telling the truth or not.
I mean, kind of trying to see if there's any, like, particular tone to her, I guess. Like, if she seems bitter about his downfall or, like, feels like maybe this is a good thing.
She appears to have stated in just a very factual manner. Perhaps as if quoting text from a book or something.
So more of scholarly interest than necessarily
yes,
fervent desire. Okay.
I suppose we all want to be useful to the world as long as possible, don't we?
Yeah. Well, the idea has a small bit of merit. Its implementation was, well, piss poor to be sure.
And yet, 5 years later, they're still fighting about it.
Well, to that I don't actually know how it is they've held out this long. That said, let me introduce you to
at the others to see how they're kind of reacting to this conversation.
Let me introduce you to my particular handiwork, and that would be the Quiver of the Elements. You'll see that this quiver has a couple of jewels in it around, like, the kind of top rim. And it looks like there are spaces where a few more could go.
Uh-huh.
This...
I recognize this craftsmanship.
What?
What?
Do you? What?
It's a Unix system.
Oh my goodness.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Moving on. This one allows for arrows to be drawn that are drawn from it to take on the properties of particular elements, and in some cases, some of the aspects of magic as well. But repeated use will cause it to crack and then shatter the gem, which is attuning the arrows to the appropriate element. They can be replaced. The gems themselves don't require any enchantment, but it's somewhat of a cross between a scroll and an item in and of itself.
Like I said, I recognize this craftsmanship.
So apparently I've copied something that I don't know what it is. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's how all of the Magitech in my world functions. I mean, I'm flattered.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I'd had ideas for this one before I met you.
How the grenades work.
Great minds think alike.
Good to
Rules
know.
rarely differ.
I mean, the gems, using the gems for the different elements is, I mean, it's great because they come in a variety of colors. They're expensive, they're small. Just like mechanics-wise. Anyways. And then, lastly, I believe that brings us to my work. This is Tark speaking now. This
Oh shit, I thought
shield...
Tark was the one who did the mace.
No. Lilith did the mace, Catherine did the quiver, and Tark has done the shield.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, I am not sure how this would or would not affect you, but this is... well, its name is still a bit of a work in progress, but I like to call it the Sun Shield, or... well, we'll stick with that for now. It's a bit of a misnomer, as it does not shield you from the sun, but upon speaking the appropriate word, it generates a beam of light shining out from the front of it that is, well, sunlight, which is useful against a number of undead. Previously mentioned vampires, for instance.
So basically, things which do not enjoy sunlight.
Yes,
I
but
assume.
I believe this goes back to Lilith's point of this one might do you in particular more harm than good. As I only see two of you using shields here, and, well, one of them may not be a fan of sunlight himself.
Melisari just kind of smiles at Eskel. Knowingly.
These are some very impressive tools that you have created. And it is, of course, sad that they do not have wielders currently. So I wonder what it is we might exchange if we wished to put them to use for you in this battle against the undead.
Well, given the current state of affairs, we try to keep costs low. He's kind of puts up air quotes. But we still need to cover materials and have enough left over for additional research and, well, food in the time it takes to make these and that said research.
Who do you buy food from? I was unaware that you had contact with people outside the tower with any regularity.
On occasion, we can get shipments from Alzid or the other settlements to the south. But the clerics of the Raven Queen have need of gold and components and things for some of their spells, and they are capable of creating food.
I see. Very well.
Have a
Insight again! For how they feel about the Raven Queen encampment.
Good God.
Motherfucker, it's 7.
I got an 11. I'm not rolling well on insight today.
I'm not either.
well. I mean, this one's a bit more plain, so you'll see a little bit of disdain in his. Well, not see, but hear a little bit of disdain in his voice. Kind of like, like doesn't like hate them or anything, but perhaps would wish that they didn't, weren't there or didn't need to be there.
To outright question this or no?
Well, I've got 6 platinum.
I'm kind of looking at Eskel in surprise.
That's all I've got.
I have significantly less.
You have
I
less
am
than
the poor one.
6 platinum?
Oh wait, hang on. How much is platinum?
10 gold.
It's
10
Yeah.
gold. Okay, never mind. I have significantly more. I don't know why I thought platinum was more.
You have all our money. We paid you to be here.
I know. How much gold are we talking?
well, for something smaller and requiring less time, like the pine resin here. That is the flaming blade oil thing. That could be parted with. You're a friend, so I'll cut you a deal. 40 gold. Normally I'd charge 50.
Sorry, nods.
Are we aware that that is extremely reasonable?
I'm also kind of looking to the other. No, never mind. Alright, I assume I would probably be fairly aware.
Yeah.
As a wizard who spent a good amount of time here.
Yes, you would be.
Okay.
Like,
So then I kind of just like raise my eyebrows a little and I'm nodding.
I'd also like to. Oh, he'd also point out. Be warned, though. This is not something to, well, try and use in the middle of a battle. It's
Requires that.
more of a paste than an oil, so it takes time to apply.
Nodding.
was
But that's what helps it burn for longer periods of time.
Was the 40 gold just for the paste?
Yep.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought it was for one of the items. I'm like, that's...
Oh yeah,
Huh.
that would be a little intense.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of look to the others and ask, are any of these other, I don't know, I guess tools, since that's a word we've been using, sound particularly appealing to you?
I'm with Dirk that hammer seems right up his alley.
Incredibly useful. Did we get a an answer on whether we suspect it would work on Death Knights? I mean, I know they regenerate,
Her,
but
her
like,
answer to the destruction thing was
Okay,
that
which is...
it destroys the body. So a creature that cannot live
Okay.
without a body would be, destroyed in its entirety.
so we
But
can
something like a
expect
demon that
it would regenerate still.
So it would be your belief that he would still regenerate, yes. But
Still useful, but
yeah.
less of a good plan B than I was hoping for.
It's not the ace in the hole.
Yeah. I was looking at that thinking that could be a good plan B if it works. I mean, it could still be a good plan B in terms of buying us more time, but, you know.
His body is destroyed when we defeat him each time anyway. But I think that it is an enticing weapon, just given its properties and other things we may face.
Indeed. And what of the quiver and shield?
I think that all of the items are intriguing in their own right. I am concerned about our ability to afford them. But I think that next priority would probably be the bow.
The bow?
Yeah.
Okay. Or are we including the mace in top priorities?
Oh yeah, that was above.
Okay,
It was
priority.
mace, or hammer, and then quiver, and then shield.
Yeah. He'll say, to give you an indication, that mace, but the hammer will be the most expensive thing here, followed by the shield, and then, followed by the quiver.
Considering the quiver
However,
is
the quiver can become equal to, or perhaps a little more expensive than the shield if you also desire additional gems for the rest of its slots.
Buy now, and we'll include replacement gems for just 2 easy payments of $19.99.
I just got back. Can I get a real quick recap of what the non-mace items do?
The quiver
Quivers and shield of sunlight generation.
I did not hear the first bit of the...
The quiver is able to make arrows drawn from it imbued with elemental energy at the cost of infused gems. And the shield does sunbeam.
Well, no, it's not a sun. It's just the light. It's not the spell sunbeam because that does damage.
So the shield will create.
It's like a sun spotlight.
Yeah.
Just stand outside the palace and wave it back and forth into the air. I'm gonna stick a bat cutout on it.
Oh my god.
I hate you.
I am the day.
I am preparation.
Oh boy.
Well.
So. The mace itself would be, like I said, these are very costly. That, I think, would be about 1,000 platinum pieces.
Slapping my 6 platinum on the table and saying, let's haggle.
Oh dear. What do you say to 1 copper piece?
No. Okay. 2 copper pieces.
Okay, anyway.
Just gonna pull back the hammer now?
Well, so, okay. Mathing is correct. It would be 100 gold.
What?
No.
No, that'd be 10,000 gold.
Oh shit, yeah, okay. Platinum is more.
Yes.
The gold would be more than the platinum. Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
So, 6 platinum hits the table.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to compliment. Do we have anything on us that might be
The
worthy of
shields would be about 30 platinum.
I space out the 6 platinum pieces.
Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna kind of give you a really kind of look.
And the quiver would be about 10.
I stack the 6 platinum
Oh
pieces.
my gosh.
Just 1, 2.
I suddenly want the quiver.
Oh my goodness.
Look, it's affordable.
Um.
I just need... Dirk! Dirk, how much money you got left?
This is the wrong Dirk. I was like, why do I have 1,500 gold pieces?
Oh my goodness.
And then why am I level 13?
Oh my goodness.
That's the good Dirk. That's the Dirk that fought a beholder.
That was fun.
Between the two of us, we could afford the quiver.
Boom.
I wanted to ask, would you consider something along the lines of a rental for the mace?
A rental?
As in, we give you money to borrow it until we have dealt once more with the Death Knight, and hopefully don't need it further. We simply return it to you at that time.
Generally, if someone is going to need a weapon like that, the odds of
It returning
getting
to
it back are rather
Yes.
low.
I can understand that.
However, as I've mentioned, we ourselves are spread quite thin. There's always a chance that we could trade in something other than gold.
Yes. Which brings me back to the question of, do we have anything among the party that might be worth trading?
I don't think our need for these is dire enough. I was satiating a curiosity, learning about our friends, and, you know, if we come into the type of wealth that they are requiring, then perhaps we can come back and discuss it. Seems reasonable, no, Carrick?
Seems like a plan to me.
Military will nod, fair enough. So are we thinking quiver and perhaps the, flammable pastes?
Well,
Was it 40 for each? Is there more than one?
There is more than one, but it's 40 for one.
40 for one, okay.
it's taken Dirk and I together, pooling our wealth to purchase the, quiver, which I find fascinating.
I can handle some fascinating?
Yeah, it's a fascinating quiver.
Oh, the quiver is fast. Okay, you find the quiver fast. I thought you were saying you find
Not
the
the pooling money between
Yeah.
the two paladins.
No, I find that sad. We're poor.
We are very poor. Have we had any promise of wealth for doing this task?
There was a bit, yeah. From both, the king at Mount Mistral and the leader of, well, the general at the Raven Queen's war camp.
Beautiful. In which case, I am willing to throw down gold for some of the pastes too, if we think that those would be helpful.
Nod. If you are willing to do that, then I think that we will make use of it.
How many do they have up for sale?
They have 5.
Alright, well, I wish I had just a tiny bit more.
It's like, do You have 200 gold pieces?
Well, it was 40 for each, so it would be. Oh, never mind. I don't know why I was thinking 4. Oh no, I do know why I was thinking 4 because we have 4 people who would want to coat their weapons.
So, do you have 180 gold pieces?
Do we have 180?
160.
160.
I subtracted 20 for some reason.
Alright, well, just for the
Interest, okay?
Just for the sake of asking, I do not expect anything, especially since there's already a significant discount. Would you consider a slightly further discount for bulk buying? If I were to buy
bulk.
4. If I were to buy 4.
I
It's
could
not
do
exactly, but
150.
I can do 150. And then we will have one for each. Although the oh, we already have the fiends and family. Was that intentional?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Although there was possible talk of reducing our number at the Raven Queen's camp. Is that correct? I want to confirm that before I throw down all of my gold to get you know, someone who may be leaving our party an additional paste.
Oh, yes, no, you are correct in remembering that. You might go for the 3 instead.
Yes, since this is not something that happened long ago in character, the goal is to leave Chris at the Raven Queen's work camp.
Yeah, okay. Although if that does not end up being feasible, it may still be useful if he would like to join us.
Or we just have an
I am
extra
actually
jar.
contemplating some of this out loud.
Or we just end up with an extra jar of paste that comes in handy later. Like if we have to deal with another Hydra.
This is true. Okay, well, very well. The 4 for 150. She says kind of warily. This would be the vast majority of our gold.
Yeah.
Well, we have hopes of replenishing it, so I suppose this will do. She parts with 150 gold, hesitantly. Watching the money leave her. That's a lot of gold to count. Did you guys pay me some in platinum?
We paid it all to you in platinum.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, everything would have been platinum.
Okay, beautiful. And I would have been able to I have 154, so I assume at some point I broke a platinum.
I mean, we had just been paid in platinum, so we gave the platinum to you.
Well, I have 4 gold somewhere along the line, so... Oh, you know, I probably broke it at the inn. I did slam down some money for that. Regardless, I have 4 gold remaining, and they have 15 of my platinum. My 15 platinum.
Then Eskel and I are each dropping 5 plat.
Yes.
I will say this. If you still have interest in the hammer, which I under the impression you do, there is something that we need found and retrieved that we could see about, at the very least, reducing the price, if not having it be a trade for services rendered.
What is said item, and where might it be located?
A while back, someone we had taken in to help with
Are we
cooking
all
and-
gonna have to roll bluff right now?
cooking and things of that nature, ran off with a peculiar map that was left here by some of the previous mages. I
Are we
believe
all
she
gonna have
went
to roll deception?
north or
That's a serious question.
northeast, but I do not know her current whereabouts.
This person, what did they look like?
A tiefling, pink in color with black and red clothing primarily.
Oh. Actually, I met this person. A woman, right?
Yes.
Yes. I believe she is not on this plane anymore.
I see.
I'm terribly sorry.
Well, frankly, I'm surprised she was able to accomplish such a feat. Well, assuming you mean that she left and didn't die.
Die. No, I do believe that she has been escorted to another plane.
Well, hopefully one of the kinder ones, while I do wish my property back.
Indeed. What was your relationship with this woman?
She was, well, more or less a servant, someone who didn't have any other place to go, so we give her a roof and food if she would deal with things like cooking and cleaning.
And instead she stole from you and ran away?
There did seem to be some sort of dust-up between her and one of the previous mages.
Previous.
Well, he went out on a job for the Raven Queen's efforts, and, well, we have not heard from him, so...
But you do not know his fate.
Not... well... I know enough that my sending went dead when I sent it.
And,
So, either he is also on another plane of existence, and I've consistently had ill luck in trying to reach him, or he has died.
I see. And so what you are saying is that if there were a way for us to return this piece of property to you, that it would be a worthy exchange for this Mace of Disruption.
Yes, as our abilities to track our time and manpower with which to do so is severely lacking, and I can't give you much in the way of a direction to go, although you do seem to already know where you need to go.
Yes, it was an interesting matter of happenstance.
I would see it as a worthy trade, for had you not been fortunate enough to know where to look, this could take quite some time, and any time spent outside of any of the strongholds on this continent is, well, quite threatening.
Do you mind if I ask, for my own edification, the nature of this, and he makes air quotes, dust up, as you put it?
I don't know the details, but from what I could surmise, feelings were involved that were not mutual, and when they were, and when those feelings got hurt, I believe she felt her best option was to flee.
Indeed.
Wait, she...
Had we been able to talk to her, we more than likely would have ejected him instead, but as she took off in the night, there was not much of an option.
Is an interesting thing to hear that.
Well, he's
I don't wanna
caused
insult
trouble
him.
with more than just her. He's a magnet for problems.
I'm gonna let Kate ask her question before I make any
Um,
declarations.
I was looking kind of confused at a simple unreciprocated feeling caused her to
There's,
flee, or there was an altercation of some sort.
I don't know. I was not able to get any details from her, and since I believe he was the offending party, he'd be unlikely to give me any details either.
She's kind of still looking kind of unsatisfied by the answer, but isn't gonna press it for now.
I'm gonna
But
roll some
voice
insight.
in the sky. Did I get any? I don't remember. Did I get any more about this altercation from detecting her thoughts when we first met her? I know I at the
Uh,
very least saw the person, but
I don't think so. That was like months ago, so my brain's a little foggy on that.
yeah, I'm gonna look at my notes. I think I am in agreement with you though that that wasn't much that I got, but I'll go look. But anyway, Eskel, go ahead.
So I was gonna roll some insight on that just because it seems to clash with the things that she had told me. Or at least there is reasonable doubt. There was a little enough that she knew that it could be plausible that what this woman's saying is true, but I have doubts, so I want to check insight on her.
Alright, you may do so.
What are you giving me this time? Something shitty? Oh, no. Okay. 22.
Alright. He doesn't seem to be withholding anything, but does seem rather confused as to what happened
I
himself.
see. And her statements about believing that, Amara was not in fact the problem in the altercation does not appear to be a fabrication.
It does not.
Interesting.
Damn, I didn't write anything about that bit.
Well,
All I cared about was certain fantasies. Apparently.
Certain fantasies.
Jesus. Like I have vague memory of just kind of seeing his face and having bad feels toward him, but that's about all I remember. I guess I could go back and watch it. It's been within a month and I have keen mind.
All right.
Anyway, carrying on.
Well, we haven't directly lied about anything at this point, so I would like to conclude our dealings here and utilize the information they gave us about the Raven Queen encampment to go and locate it.
alright.
Is going further southeast gonna take us out of our time frame though, is my only concern.
It is
It
unfortunate.
would make it a little bit close because it is the wrong direction, but
It is.
it should still be within range.
Okay. And it is worthwhile to attempt. Okay.
Especially as the Mage's Tower is actually on a bit of a road, so you're not just tromping through the wilderness for this part of the trek.
They also said that they have cleared the area out of, threatening things like zombies and beasts, so
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
around a
have
couple
to
miles.
we don't have to go carefully or anything. We can just book it.
Trump.
Trumpings.
Trumpings.
We can do the trumping. And I will say, well, If I run across this pink tiefling again on this plane, you will be the first to know.
Appreciate that.
She did seem quite scarred by her experience here, though.
If you do find her, do me a favor. Tell her she can still have a place here, and that insert name of caster here who is name I've forgotten.
Lilith?
No, the
Oh, in place of the
yeah,
asshole.
Yeah.
Got you.
That he is no longer here, and if she returns, he'll no longer be welcome here.
I will make sure that I deliver the message should I see her. Can't guarantee that she will respond to it, but she will have it.
Thank you.
Couldn't they?
If that's all, it sounds like you have a bit of walking to do, and we have research to get back to.
Indeed. You have been most gracious with your time, and with my line of questioning, so I would like to extend thanks for your patience.
He nods.
And of course, all of the assistance and the very generous discount. That is certainly appreciated.
Pascal nods at that. We shall not trouble you further today, though perhaps we will visit again ere too long.
You're certainly welcome to, but if you end up looking for more tools, we may be running a bit low. Should you come calling again soon?
Wait, what things are running low on?
Perhaps if you described the, things that you needed found that you were convinced we would not have, perhaps we will come upon them in our travels and can bring them with us.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly do that for the pine resin. And he'll list off a couple things, plant, naturey things. I don't have.
Pine tar! We're gonna go play baseball with these guys.
What?
The fluid that we put on blades and light is called pine resin.
Oh, yes.
Which is like pine tar, which is used on baseball bats.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Helps hold them together.
So he'll list off a few things that you can keep an eye out for.
Any guesses as to where we might be able to find such things?
Well, most anything I've just listed is native to the area. And the majority of the continent is put together in the same fashion, so you should be able to find these just there anywhere if you keep a close eye out.
Yes, if we're looking at the plants around us, we'll find something that matches.
You'll have a bit more trouble if you head up towards the mountains, though.
Well, then we better keep our eyes open while we're down this way. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your coin.
Feels so light now. I can move so quickly.
No worries.
Yeah, that they'll kind of start to break up and go back to their places.
I moved outside the building and the roof came down on my face.
As it would do.
Bye, Roland.
I'll move him in a minute. I gotta move the others first.
That's why I pin the cutting box.
Yeah.
Things do not function well when you do not do that.
Yeah. It's upset at you. So I move it down to the right level and then I pin it. Because if I don't, You move a character and everything, the pinning changes on you. It's like, damn it.
Yep. Alright, so... we are at what our normal end time. We did start, like, an hour late. Do you guys wish to continue?
I would at least like to have our next conversation.
Yeah, I think we can have the conversation with us.
Yeah.
Continuing, to me, feels like getting to the camp, which is going
Another
to be a
scene.
long enough scene that it's probably best to delay that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once
Besides, I don't have the smaller camp ready. I'd have to just send you to the big camp as a stand-in.
Okay.
But
I think we begin heading in that direction a bit,
yeah.
and when we're away from the tower and everything, we can discuss.
All right.
I like that we have this line of people just marching forward. They had the minis actually look pretty good. It's just this threatening line of people marching forward. They look very confident and adventurer-like.
In some cases, uncomfortable.
All right. So you guys start heading towards the camp.
Indeed.
That was indicated towards you.
Once we're, a good enough distance away from the tower that I feel we are not going to be overheard or spied upon. It's long enough later that they're probably not spying upon us, if they were at all.
I wonder if I don't think I took any spells that would help with that, but...
I mean, out of character, if you have see invisibility, you can see a scrying sensor that would be following somebody.
Okay. I will cast see invisibility then, and kind of peek around me.
Oh, good idea. I like that.
I appreciate you, Sam.
No problem. It seems like a thing that your character would know, so...
Yeah, for sure.
You see no invisible creature, no invisible sensor, no creature on the ethereal plane.
Sounds wonderful, and I will say we should be okay.
Still don't know how I feel about them. They seemed more upstanding than I anticipated going in, however.
They were hiding something when it came to the discussions about their necromantic research.
But you got no clues as to what from trying to read them, I take it?
I couldn't figure that out.
That's alright.
It was enough that I'm interested in seeing what the Raven Queen's camp says about these people before being willing to trust them more.
Eskel nods and says, I'm very glad we're on the same page about that. I noticed you never brought up the map, so I made sure not to head in that direction with anything I said.
Thank you.
I figured that if you trusted
your cover was clever.
I cannot lie.
I'm gonna kind of look at you and be like, so lies of omission don't count for that.
Well, I didn't say a lie, did I?
I'm kind of smirking at you. Some might argue that lies of omission.
Everything I told them was true. I did meet a tiefling. I will deliver their message. And I am interested in the fact that giving them the map would count as a worthy exchange for their magic item. But I never asked if I had the map.
It is true. Or even if you...
And even if they did ask if Eskel had the map...
Technically, yes, that would be true. He does not.
I don't.
That one might be a bit more of a stretch. But,
as long as I don't say we don't have the map, I could say I don't have the map.
I am not presently in possession of the map.
But I also wanted to phrase things carefully because I wanted to gauge the truth of the things I was being told, including the things that Emara told me herself.
Yes.
being able to get the other side of the situation here was useful.
Yes. And to hear that
The
they
in-
do not bear ill will toward her is good to know.
It was surprising, given how afraid of them she seemed when I met her, but my encounter with Amara was very strange on the whole. There was a lot to be called into question. Excuse me.
Where did they say the other part of the altercation had gone?
On a mission for the Raven Queen.
About like a couple miles that way and 6 feet straight down.
It's not talking specific location-wise, thank you.
But yes, he was assigned to a task for the camp of for the Raven Queen, followers of the Raven Queen. That involved something that they don't know the details of, and they never returned.
Okay. Oh
That
yeah, I
is what we
forgot
were
about that
given.
part.
And so now they have a vacancy, which they wanted me to convey to Amara, that she could fill.
Bollocks. I forgot that I wanted to. It probably would have been still too expensive.
We're very low on funds now, and it is probably a good enough time to bring up that, at least from our side of the table, I say waving a hand back and forth between me and Dirk, it's going to remain that way for a while.
She
A
is.
very long time.
How do you mean?
Well, you received that sending earlier. I imagine that you know all the details. I'm not exactly sure why they deigned to include you, but I suppose we did hire you through the church, so...
Melisari looks very confused. What sending did you receive?
But I kind of look confusedly at Dirk for a moment and say, about failing our mission to protect Lady Amelie?
That was not the sending that I received. I received a more cryptic sending.
From
I have
whom?
to find it. I do not know.
How can someone you do not know send you? Send to you.
Sending just... I'm clarifying for myself. Sending requires them to know you, right? Not necessarily
Yeah,
for you to know them.
The wording of the spell says you send to a person that you're familiar with, and then if they know you, they know who is sending to them.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's possible that they're familiar with me without me being familiar with them. That is unfortunately the way sending works.
That sounds contradictory to the word familiar, but alright, you're the wizard.
I mean, you can be aware of someone's existence without them being aware of yours.
Yes, but I could not be familiar with somebody without them knowing I exist. Familiar from the word family.
Okay, let me rephrase a little. I'm going to rephrase in a way that makes sense and works with the actual wording of the spell.
I think the wording of the spell is poor. I don't think it's your
I
fault.
think sending says familiar.
Does it?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that for what they were going for, the spell was worded poorly. Why are you doing that?
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm figuring out my
There's
controls.
sending
It's a new
a
thing.
representation.
Making it go like navy blue and blank. Just flashing on and off.
Sorry.
I was gonna ask. I had intended to ask them. I guess it's kind of too late now. How much? It's 50 gold per spell level to
Yep.
learn a new one. Okay.
Plus all the time.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah, I know.
studying the thing.
Add,
So, like,
time.
you would need to get it from, like, a spell scroll that they already had.
Which is not.
Which would mean buying the scroll from
that I
them.
want. What was I? What else? Oh, right. I remember what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the sending that I got. Oh, I wanted to also look at the phrasing of sending and also ask, can I roll Arcana to know if there's also another way that they might be able to block who the sending was from?
Alright, you can roll.
Ooh, that's a good roll. That is 25. 25.
You are not personally familiar with a way to block it, but you do know that a number of wizards have looked into the possibility.
Okay.
It's so weird because it's an evocation spell, so it bypasses things like the Sanctum.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So I will add, it is possible that someone has been able to find a way to
Fuck.
block the,
Found it!
oh my goodness.
Block
Is
the
it foggy?
origin, the sender, the knowledge of the sender.
Yes.
Okay. Fine, we don't know who sent it. What did they say? Because you seemed quite bothered by it.
Hang on, I have to look at.
The mists of forgetfulness.
I know, right? They said, you ask many questions and seek many answers, but have you asked if the question is correct? What is the true question that needs answers?
Could this have been from somebody at the histories?
My current thoughts are either it's related to another riddle that I've been sort of trying to parse in my own time, or it could be related to Vecna, the second of which being significantly more troubling.
Certainly, but
If
like...
anyone has been able to find a way to hide a sender, a follower of Vecna is a
Whoa.
reasonable place
Sorry.
to start. Was that a sandstorm?
It's marked as glowing heat, but sandstorm could work. Last one.
Digga-digga-doo.
Ew. Did you
Digga-digga-doo.
got in that smog?
Heart gas. I don't wish to pry into your business, but you did bring it up. What is this other riddle?
It is something of a legend, I suppose. There was a wizard. Hang on, I have to look it up again to help myself. Okay.
What crazy weather we've been having.
I know, right? Just in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
There was a wizard who was seeking out knowledge and theoretically solved a riddle, or working toward some vast store of divine knowledge hidden in the desert.
The desert down south on the southern continent?
I would assume so. The stories are patchy. Like I said, it's kind of more legend. The details vary based on who's telling it.
Okay. Forgive me. It just seems like seeking knowledge and power is something that wizards do. What was special about this one?
Do I know?
So what happened? What makes this one interesting to you?
Oh, why is it of specific interest to me?
Yeah, I mean, Eskel is plainly stating that it seems like most wizards are going off and seeking knowledge, so why is this one special?
I mean, a vast store of divine knowledge is certainly curious, appealing. It's not something I've been actively pursuing heavily, it's just something that I figured I looked into in the Hall of Histories to see if there was any more information there that may not be quite so public knowledge. Not that this is exactly public knowledge either, but it said that the only thing that ever returned of his venturing into the desert was a sending that said, "Found it, good luck. I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have water but no fish. What am I?" So, another riddle. But regardless, it's a possibility. I think Vecna is the more reasonable assumption, since we have been directly looking into some of his business. But I
believe
cannot
that you've
say
drawn
for
his
sure.
good eye.
Are you looking
It's-
for a map?
Hey!
It occurs to me that this map could be useful toward that end. It would be worth looking.
No.
I mean, the riddle.
That's the riddle's
It's a map.
solution.
Oh,
Mountains but no trees and water but no fish. It's a map.
they don't have trees on maps? They could have trees on maps, no? In certain circumstances. Or like a depiction of trees anyway.
Cities with no people?
No houses, but yes, that would also fit. Unless it is, again, a more detailed map of a city.
You didn't even... Was this a person that you knew?
This is a person of myth, essentially.
I
A
see.
wizard of... The
So-
name isn't even known for certain.
And they sent this sending to someone, and the story of their travel and their sending is widespread among wizards.
Was that a question that I had answered? Because I know that was something that I was looking for, if where the sendings went to.
These stories are widely known among the mages' towers, and seem to originate from the mage's tower that is located in that desert.
Okay, so it's possible if we went there, we might know a little bit more about the details of, say, who received the sendings. That's the thing that I'm curious about.
Yep, it's possible. You'd definitely be closer to the source of the information, so you'd be more likely to get something akin to a first or second-hand account.
I mean, that is... yeah. I think that our work here is not done, but I would be interested in knowing the answer to that, especially if part of the answer to that is the map that we were told of can help with that, since you seem to be able to just ask it to take you somewhere. And if it existed at the time of the map's drawing, it shows you the way.
Possible. Although it's uncertain if anyone else was aware of its location. So it's possible that it never made it onto the map.
Maybe.
Assuming that this was created by someone based on their knowledge of the world.
I mean, the map showed us the manned ballistae on the Forgotten Fortress, manned by skeletons. I doubt anybody knew about that. I say that only to convey that I have doubt that anybody actually needed to know for it to appear on this map. This map, whatever its creation entailed, seems to supersede, transcend whatever human knowledge aided in its creation.
That does seem to be a logical conclusion.
Anyway, it's a fascination. I admit that I have a curiosity now. Thank you for sharing. I am
Nod.
concerned about the origin of this riddle you have now been sent. It does seem to indicate that somebody knows that we have been nosing about, trying to learn about the past, but believes that we have been going about it the wrong way, and in saying so, I become curious as to whether they are trying to tell us something helpful and get us on the right path, or trying to mislead us, and we won't know until we know who sent it.
If such thing is even possible.
To know? Yes.
Indeed.
Alright, well, I can understand why you were very concerned about the sending. No, we did not receive that one. Ours was from our temple.
I mean, I guess we'll have to ask, Thomas. Did he receive a sending?
I'll say this, because just kind of need to know for this scene to wrap up. He did not.
Okay. Do Chris or, I'm assuming Roland wouldn't, but do either of them offer up info?
No. They don't seem to have any, input. I suppose Chris might have a little bit. That, I mean...
Regarding, like, what he knows of Vecna?
yeah. Like, the sending he received could be from one of his clerics. As they are often trying to disguise themselves as members of other groups. So there's a chance you've met one and not, like, met a cleric of Vecna and not, known who could be, doing this. Which, I mean, doesn't...
Just turn to Chris and say, Chris, you didn't send that sending, did you?
No. My powers are strictly martial at this point.
Just checking. Alright, so we addressed the map, we addressed the sending. Was there any other points that we wanted to address?
The other thing that Chris was going to say is, so you could narrow it down to, well, not by much, but to anyone you met before the sending was received, so it's not going to be a new acquaintance. It has to be someone who knows what's been going on, whether it's through a personal interaction or perhaps by means of scrying. I couldn't tell you.
Well, we have suspicion, anyway, that there could be an agent of Vecna within the Hall of Histories, or in general within Mistal, so it's certainly possible that they're aware of our curiosity in the tablet.
I'll be honest, there's likely at least a handful of his agents in just about every capital in the world. His reach is far.
Melisari kind of just continues to nod, looking troubled. I'm spending a lot of time looking troubled right now.
Indeed.
Alright, is there anything else that you guys would like to cover?
I can't think of anything on my end.
I want Dirk and Roland to move 1 square south each.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Boom!
I feel like you and Chris should be the middle line, Roland and I should be the back, and Dirk should be the front.
Alright.
Not that it matters all that much, but you know, in terms of party relations.
I call this the Chevron of Doom. Why is he going the wrong way? Roland! God damn it.
He's looking for threats from behind. That's a reasonable thing for, like, a scouty type person. Rangery type person.
We need is 2 chevrons of doom to make a diamond of death.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
There it is. And that, when turned 45 degrees, becomes the box
Square of
of
solidarity.
binding. Yeah. I did box of binding, but, you know, same difference, right? Square of solidarity. And then if you tilt it a little bit, it becomes the rhombus of confusion.
Oh goodness.
Anywho, I guess that means we have hit the session for today.
I'm glad we got to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to,
Yep.
be like, Thomas, what the hell?
Yeah, I'll find out what happened. Yep, I'll need to look into what happened. Hopefully it's nothing too major.
Alright, well, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff.
I hope you guys have had fun. I know you guys are running a bit low on funds.
So sad.
I've got, like, 35 gold pieces. It's fine.
I have 4.
I have 1 plat, 3 gold, and 7 silver.
I have 4. And
I don't know how I managed to hold on to so much gold, then. I have 1 plat and 25 gold.
Alright.
I think there had been a moment where it was fitting for Dirk to pay for something that was like a group thing.
Might be the case. We can redistribute wealth in the future if we need to.
I don't think we need to. Like,
It'll just fall to me to pay for it.
yeah, it doesn't matter who has the money. It's just,
It's true. It does not.
at least between the two of us.
The group is growing closer, so, like, we pay for things for the group.
We are beginning to trust and decide to do things for the better of all.
Trust is important. Alright,
I don't know, a
so
little trust goes a long way.
the less you use, the further you get.
How does one use trust?
The less you apply. Alright, so. Bye, stream.
Good night, stream.
Uh-oh, something big is coming. Ah, the camel!
Holy sweet Jesus!
Camel, no, why?
I'm gonna guess the camel's coming out because it was in like a super obvious place. And you want us to feel shame for not finding it?
No, it was pretty far back.
I didn't look around at all for it. I was trying
Honestly,
to...
it's more a thing for dungeons where I can expect where you'll move.
Yeah.
And that's also why its benefits are most, well, beneficial.
Did you kill my hidden D4 to bother Kate?
Yes, because it also bothers me, and I have the power.
Mother of...
But yeah, the camel will be a lot easier to spot in non-dungeony things if it wasn't for the fact that you can't see it if it's on the wrong side of a wall from you.
Can't see it if it's on the wrong side of the wall, and also we have a limited draw distance.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, but it was in the back right corner of the walled-in stone
Why
area.
have I rolled like 4 3s in a row?
I'm
All
not even
right,
saying
listen
that
here.
I'm rolling, I'm just throwing out calculus.
Oh! Dice murder! There's been a dice murder!
Oh my god, we both hit Chris with our dice. We may be assholes. Did we turn off the stream already?
No.
Sweet Jesus!
So apparently the maximum dice you can have is 40.
There it is. Good night, stream.
Oh dear lord.
Good
Good
night.
night.